Hi, I'm TR, and this is my Mid-century Ranch Home Renovation project. So this is episode 2, and what I'm sharing with you today is the criteria I was looking for in the house, the reason I bought the house, and a little bit of my background and what I expect to do with this place as time goes forward. So let me start with a little bit about me. I just spent 4 years living full-time in my RV Rusty. That's where you see me sitting here today. It's a 2004 Newmar Dutch Star, and it's 16 years old, and it's required maintenance and replacement of some of the major systems. Like, I replaced the roof, put solar on, I put in a new fridge, those sorts of things. All sort of handyman projects, it felt like to me. Besides that, I built a 2,500 square foot home in Shoshone, Idaho, well, near Shoshone, Idaho, in 2002. I'll show you a few pictures of it here. I really don't have any video. That was way pre-video days for me. So I have a lot of experience with home construction. Not to mention that in 1985, I went to drafting school. And even while I was still in school, I started doing side jobs drafting. And in fact, did quite a lot of commercial and residential drawings, as well as industrial mechanical type drawings. But I designed custom homes for people. I've done commercial buildings, restaurants, large condo complexes, fourplexes, duplexes, all that sort of stuff I ended up drawing over the years when I was working for a custom home builder in Idaho Falls. The moral of the story is I've been able to pick up side work as a drafter since then. And up until about 2010, I was doing quite extensive house plans. So let me show you just a quick example of some of the work I used to do. This is a house plan, 3D, that I did for some friends of mine back in, I think it was about 2007 or something like that. And so this is a 3D model of their home. But if we go over here and look at the floor plan real quick, you can see it's pretty complicated. This is a really busy drawing. It's because I have a number of layers turned on, the electrical's on, and there's door numbering and all that sort of stuff because I had schedules put together for all the doors and the lights and everything. It was a pretty extensive set of drawings I did. But yeah, I think the model probably is the funnest thing to play with. We can come in here and let me just do some quick rotations. You can kind of see it. What you're seeing out here in the horizon are snapshots of the elevations that I used to detail it. That's the kind of work I used to do as side work, and I did a number of house plans. So I feel like I have plenty of experience. You know, and of course, I've been a fan of the home improvement shows, you know, the This Old Houses, and that's, you know, the Ron Hazelton stuff, you know, for years and years. And so I feel like I got a pretty good skill set to be able to tackle about everything I need to in this house. But where I don't, then I'm going to call on the professionals. Like I was saying earlier, I think the electrical is probably something I'll call the professionals in and let them do. At least to get the service installed and those sorts of things. Get the 2 breaker panels replaced and get them up to code. So in the case of what I was looking for, is I had established a criteria of things that I needed or wanted in a house, and then started to search accordingly. Those parameters were basically, I wanted it to be under $150,000. Sort of a project house. I wanted it to be livable, and then I could move in and work on projects as time goes on. I didn't want to have to go in and do a complete rehab before a house would have been livable. I looked at a couple of HUD homes, and that's what they would have been. And so, I kind of walked away from that because I do want to have some place I can live. I don't want to winter in the RV. That's not a great idea. Another story for another day. I kind of had in my mind the skill set that I was going to need to do a lot of the projects that I discovered in the house that I ultimately bought. I could do the carpentry work, I could do the electrical work up to a certain point. I could do it all, but again, I think I'll have the electrical done by a contractor. I don't really anticipate making major changes to the plumbing, nor am I going to be relocating any major walls. There is a chance that I might do some wall relocations in the bathroom, but that'll be in another episode. So it was kind of a fluke how I found this house. I was out with my realtor. We were looking at another piece of property, and I just wasn't feeling it there. It was, it wasn't the right house. And I had been watching this house, and the market in Pocatello and Idaho Falls is super hot. I mean, with interest rates, knocking on 3% for 30-year mortgage, houses in this price range were turning within 24 hours. You would see a house list on a Tuesday afternoon, and by Wednesday it would be pending. It would have sold, or there would have been an offer made on it. So I think that's what explains why, the 3 houses that I did make offers on that I got outbid on. And in fact, this house had gone on the market. I saw it. I thought it was interesting. I could see that it had some problems just from the pictures they posted online. And by the next day, of course, it was off the market before I could get to it to see it. Well, it had come back on the market, and so that morning after we were looking at this other property, I says, well, let's just go over and look at this one. It was vacant, so we could get right in. And we got in, and I says, yeah, this is the one. So I went ahead and I put in an offer. That afternoon, after the listing agent was looking at the offer, she called my realtor and said, well, here's the story. The house had been bought for $26,000 over the asking price. But when the inspector got in and found all the problems that I showed you in episode 1 up here, they decided that they were going to back out. And that's your option, after you have the inspection. And so she was just letting my realtor know that it was as is. And of course, my realtor, Chris, she says, yeah, we totally understand that. That's why we want it. And at that point, the deal was done. I am through financing and into underwriting, so it's just a matter of time before the loan closes. It looks like we're going to be about 10 days sooner than I thought on the loan closing, fingers crossed, because I'm really anxious to get started on the project. I've got it pretty much planned out. I'm going to be sharing that with you over the next while. So the house is 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, 864 square feet upstairs, 1,780 approximately total. But it's not really 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, because the bedrooms in the basement don't have egress windows, and so they're not considered bedrooms. And we'll be addressing that in a later episode as well. So why did I choose Pocatello, Idaho? Well, first and foremost, I have a lot of friends and family in the area, and so that made it a real positive. But I believe it was in 2018, AARP put out a list of the 20 top desirable cities for retirees, and Pocatello was in that list. The cost of living here is fairly inexpensive. Yeah, the winters, they can be cold, but they're not subarctic. I've lived here. I lived in this area for most of my adult life. Well, most of my life. And so I know about winter, and it's something I can deal with. You just get a good coat. The population of Pocatello is about 55,000, and then there's a town to the north called Chubbuck, and that's probably another 15,000. And in the general area, there's probably 110 or 15, 20,000 that live within, say, 25 miles of Pocatello. I actually lived here when I went to college at Idaho State University for 7 years. And so I do know the area. Plus I was raised in Idaho Falls, and so I do know eastern Idaho extremely well. I have lots of friends in the area. Lots of helping hands is kind of what I'm thinking, is that I do have a lot of friends I can call on to come over and give me a hand when I need a second set of hands, like when you're setting cabinets and stuff like that. One of the things I was looking for, this wasn't a deal breaker though, was space to park my RV. Potentially I could get it in the backyard. It's going to be tight, but the driveway is long enough that I can get it in there, and I still have basically 8 feet to spare and still be on my property. And so I think that's going to work out great, because the plan is I probably will live in the RV for the first couple of weeks as I knock out the first bunch of improvements I want to make before I move in. So the process for looking for the house took about 5 weeks. I looked at approximately 15 properties in Pocatello, and I looked at 6 in Idaho Falls. Because I was looking in both locations, I decided I could live in either. I made 3 offers I got outbid on, and the price differential for the amount of square footage and the amenities between Idaho Falls and Pocatello in my price range, under $150,000, was about a $25,000 premium to live in Idaho Falls. It's always been that way. Idaho Falls has always had a little better real estate prices than Pocatello, at least in my memory. One of the other criteria is I wanted to be near the campus, because if at some point I have to leave the place for, say, a year or more to go take care of family, I wanted to be able to rent it easily. And this is within easy walking distance of the campus, and so I'm pretty sure that I could rent it readily to some really responsible people. And so that was one of the criteria I was looking for as well. And then the last thing, and this is the first rule of thumb, is that you want to buy the cheapest house on the block, and that's what I did. Right across the street from the property, there's some $400,000 homes, $200,000, $205,000, $210,000 homes scattered around. And I was talking to my realtor, Chris, and we feel like if I go in and do the improvements that I'm talking about, that I could easily ask $200,000 for it, and I would not be upside down, not even close. And we'll talk budget in a later episode. So the next couple of episodes, you're going to see me sitting right here, because we're going to start project planning. We're going to go in and we're going to get the house CAD'd up. I've gone over and taken measurements, so I'm going to show you how I got it CAD'd up, put it into a CAD system. Then we'll go through and start detail planning for each of the areas that I need to improve. Like I'm going to do wallpaper. I'm going to get all the wallpaper out of there. I'm going to strip the carpets out, do those sorts of things. Sand the floors, get them refinished, do that sort of stuff, because that's so easy to do before you move in. And so that's the plan there. Again, you're going to get to see me here for the next couple episodes, because I'm going to get you into the planning and show you how I got it into the CAD system and my process for putting this all together. So I hope you'll stick around for that. A friendly reminder, like, subscribe, share with your friends, make a comment below. Happy to get back to you on your comments. But for now, it's time to go. Thanks for watching. I sure do appreciate it. Until the next episode, peace.